happened up to this point to get us to today, the 3-year anniversary, for justice to be served and justice, that process of justice to start playing out today. We're so thankful to God for this. We've prayed for this for 3 years. Since 3 years ago tonight, we walked on this campus. 3 years ago tomorrow was when we got back down here after he was killed, and we have been praying for this from that very day. And so for that to come forward now, we're so thankful for the GCU staff. When that happened, Tim Griffin was right there with us. I see him in the back of the room here right now, provided what we needed at that time. As you guys know, Taylor was going to get married 3 weeks later, so we'd do a disservice if we didn't say something about Sarah, who's actually in Australia right now, so she's asleep. She'll see this in the morning when she wakes up. She's already gone through her April 8th last night. We talked to her as we were getting on a plane to come here, but it's something that she relives every day of her life too. They were supposed to be married 3 weeks later, and obviously that never happened. So to be able to tell her last night, April 8th in Australia, when she woke up, that Adrian and Tina are in custody and that process of justice is starting to play out was, like you said, an answer to prayer. And just so thankful for the Phoenix PD team, the county attorney's office, just everybody involved that, you know, and for witnesses that came forward. And I'm sure there's more out there. If you're out there and you have more information, please get a hold of the police department, let them, you know.
We know people have more information, guys. We know people have more information. Please come forward now.
And if you haven't been involved in this case, I know there was another hit and run just this last Sunday that they're still looking for the individual that did that. If you're out there, turn yourself in. Make it easier on yourself. It doesn't have to play out this way. You know, we'd love to be advocates to make things tougher on people that do this so that these go away. I know, you know, Arizona has a high rate of hit and runs. Very high rate of fatal hit and runs. And if we can save one family,
families shouldn't need to go through what we've gone through the last 3 years. There's a better way, and we can lessen this. We can lessen this, all of us working together. So hopefully we can be advocates moving forward that put change in place, that use new technology, that enforce tougher penalties so that people will stop, they'll consider, and justice can be brought. There is a better way.
You know, we've put out several things before and talked about the case. Haven't talked about it in a long time, but you know, this is a thing where justice is finally coming about. From our faith in God and this and that, we've forgiven Adrian and Tina for what they did.
Yes.
We had to, for the good of ourselves, because we cannot hold that. That doesn't mean that they don't need to pay for the consequences of what they've done, and they will. And we're so thankful to the county's attorney's office that they will take care of that and get that justice, and they will serve, you know, they will have to answer for what they did. But for our sake, we couldn't live with ourselves. You know, we've already beat the statistics. It's been 3 years.
And we're still together.
We're still together.
That's not the statistic, guys.
As strong as ever. You know, Taylor was the oldest of 4. He's got 3 younger brothers and sisters that are living this every day. They live it every day. We were just out with our daughter in Tennessee. She's an All-American lacrosse player. And she just broke down in the middle of, while we were there, it said, does this ever end? And it doesn't. It doesn't ever end for us. But today, the process of justice starts.
Yes.
Today, the process of some closure of somebody answering for a senseless crime started today. Started last night, yesterday morning when they got arrested. So we're so thankful for that. Once again, thank you to everybody.
And we do want to say that forgiveness does not negate justice. And we've had a lot of questions about that. And the God who created us is a God of order and justice and mercy. So for those of you that are carrying the weight of something similar like this, Walk in forgiveness. It is a daily decision, and it's the best thing you can do for yourself and your life. It's the best thing you can do for your kids, because there is more, and our eyes are fixed. And people say, how have you survived the last 3 years? Because our eyes are fixed on what is eternal and what will not fade and what does not end. And that is a God who loves us, who brings justice, who brings mercy for those who cry out for mercy, and is merciful to those who are merciful. Justice and mercy can go together. And we have found, especially today, that grief and gratitude go together. And they are so intertwined. Thank you to everyone. There's so many people behind the cameras in this room. There's people that are going to be watching this. You have prayed for our family. You've sent messages a year ago when we cried out for someone to help us. You sent messages to government officials on our behalf. Thank you. Thank you for standing with us. This is not just a victory for our family. This is not only a victory for Phoenix and Glendale and Arizona. This is a victory for our nation. And if we as a people will embrace that the same way you have surrounded us these last 3 years, if we will embrace that and move forward in that, there can be a better way and there can be a better day moving forward. So thank you to everyone. Thank you to the man who sent us the message on Facebook. You know who you are, letting us know that Phoenix PD leadership had switched and that we may want to try and reach out again. We're grateful. We're grateful. We're grateful. We're grateful. And we carry our grief today on April 8th. And we carry our gratitude both close for our children, for our family, for Taylor, for our oldest, Taylor Thomas White, who is quite handsome, as you can see from the picture. And I know this is a press conference, and I know that we are here, and it might be a little stuffy, but we can cheer about this, you guys. We can cheer. Come on. Yes. This is a victory. This is a victory. And we were in shock. We were in total shock. I did numb. How are you feeling? I have no idea what words to put to that. But it was a couple hours ago, playing worship music in our hotel room, that something broke, and we were able to rejoice and rejoice. So thank you to all.
Thank you.
Chad?
My name is Chad. I'm now direct manager here at Grand Canyon University. Today does mark 3 years that Taylor was taken from us, from this earth. From my perspective, Taylor was a man on a mission. He was ready to be a husband, an athletic trainer, and go on countless adventures with his friends and family. We miss his presence and his contagious quest to have fun and have a good laugh. He had a very unique ability to connect with students despite the walls that others around him may have put up. Taylor boldly led in all that he did here at Grand Canyon University through his leadership as a trip leader in our program, the Outdoor Recreation Program. He was an inspiring athletic trainer. He was a very, very loyal friend. And ultimately, he was a very loving fiance and boyfriend. Taylor was strong. He was described as fearless by some participants on our trips. He was smart, witty, and was also known as Quadzilla. He was inspirational to all those he came into contact with. His legacy lives on through our Taylor White Mountain Mover Leadership Award. This award was created because of the impact that Taylor had on our community and is recognized annually in order to encourage those that choose to live outside of a box, yet focus on authentic relationships. We believe that these combinations create an individual who can move mountains with their strong personality and even stronger faith, just like Taylor White did. Thank you very much.
There's going to be an opportunity to have a couple questions answered by Lieutenant Leif Myers. So if you have any questions, we could go ahead and start. Go
So we always had our eye on them. But we had some new advancements this year in technology that allowed us to, we were always missing a couple of pieces, but with the advancement in technology, and we had a witness that just came forward, it made it a concrete case, and we were very comfortable in apprehending both of them.
And just for logistical purposes, Adrian was the one who was behind the wheel.
Correct.
Was there any signs of impairment when this happened on their end?
So it's hard to tell because it's so long ago. We don't have toxicology from that day, so we can't even assume.
What kind of technology advancement?
Unfortunately, I can't answer that. Just it's an ongoing investigation, and it still has to be adjudicated. So.
Can you talk a little bit about the additional witnesses that have come forward and what you might be also looking for in the future?
The additional witness just came forward last week, which helped, helped put those last pieces of the puzzle together and made it a concrete case. And like I said, we were comfortable in making that apprehension.
A key witness, no doubt.
I'm sorry?
A key witness, no doubt.
A key witness, for sure.
Did they utilize the sample witness program?
No, they did not.
The mention of another hit and run this past weekend, is this an ongoing issue and the police are aware of around the school or came back in the 31st half?
So we really don't focus on streets or roadways. We focus on driving behavior. So, I mean, we're looking at speeds, always an issue around the valley, and inattention. Everybody's on their smartphones, impairment, utilization of crosswalks. So we're really focusing on the behavior of the pedestrians versus the driver as well.
Is there any future plans to install any new crosswalks or install any
So
lights?
streets can always look at that based upon traffic volume, and they can put hawk machines up and out, but that's a streets component for that.
When you talk about technology, is that technology used by the police department?
Correct.
Can you describe that a little bit? I know
Unfortunately, I really can't. The case is still being adjudicated, so I really don't want to give anything away yet. But it is new technology for us that we kind of discovered within the year.
how will that new technology be utilized?
So we're going to be using it on every hit and run case from here on out.
Woohoo!
I think we've been talking about it for a couple of days. Within the last 2 or 3 days, we've had at least 5 to 6 hit and runs that have occurred. We've had some good follow-up on some of those cases. We did make another arrest early on Monday related to a hit and run. I think this is just a reminder to the tragedy that needs to be avoided. There is no reason for you to drive impaired. There is no reason to speed. There is no reason to be distracted. You behind that wheel, when you are doing those things, that vehicle turns into a weapon. It takes lives. It can result in the loss of life. So please, pay attention. It's a shared responsibility, and let's be safe. Thank you.